What say we dive into the world of KO a little bit and the world of Beast Wars Neo a little bit with Longrack. I've already looked at a couple of the Beast Wars Neo Maximals and a couple of the Beast Wars Neo Predacons, but I can honestly say that I have never reviewed a giraffe. Longrack, he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is down in the description below. Also down in the description, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is a KO of Longrack. And it's not bad, honestly. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's better than I thought it was going to be. Even with the limitation of not being able to do the third mode, that weird canon-y type of mode, and considering that this is a KO, right? So there's certain articulation limitations and whatnot as well. Nevertheless, for a Beast Wars Neo character that I'm only kind of passingly familiar with, I've watched Beast Wars Neo and whatnot, but it's not like I'm connected to these characters the same as I am with the main Beast Wars characters, right? Nevertheless, I'm quite happy with this KO. I mean, what more could you really expect for such a small price point? But don't take my word for it. How about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy? And so yes indeed, here we have the giraffe known as Longrack. He is a Maximal from the Beast Wars Neo period of Beast Wars. He would have followed, for example, Big Convoy. He is also, if I'm not mistaken, the second in command, even though he's really more like a cadet who is very by the book, sort of an overachiever. If you know Robots in Disguise 2015 Strong Arm, then you have an idea of what this guy is like. However, all of the other members of the Maximal team kind of, make fun of him behind his back, sometimes to his face, much to his chagrin, and kind of don't take the young Maximal, I guess, seriously enough, which is exactly why he gets picked to be kind of like a lieutenant or a second in command or whatever you want to call it, because the disdain that other Maximals sort of feel for this guy brings them together to be something better than what they are, oddly enough. He's also a bit of a, I guess, creator, inventor, whatever you want to call it, as he does sometimes show his creativity, but we don't see it a lot because he is very by the book. Just so you got a bit of an idea of what this guy is like. Now, before we move on, it's only right that I kind of address the packaging, so to speak, though I've done it in other KO reviews of these Beast Wars characters. So just very, very quickly, we have this packaging. I'm pretty sure over on the side it says Beast Warrior or something like that, or Wild Beasts or some nonsense like that. Up in the top corner, though you can't really see it very well, there is a symbol that kind of looks a little bit Predaconish with a circle around it, very indicative of the RID 2015 Autobot logos and Decepticon logos. On the back we see the 8 KOs from this wave. This was a few years ago now. Funny enough, the pictures that are shown here are the actual product images rather than the KOs. Nevertheless, it gives us an idea of the 8 that were released. Many of these I've already looked at on the channel. The worst thing about these KOs is that, quite honestly, they don't come with instructions, and that means it's a bit of a hodgepodge trying to figure out what is the same as the official, what is different than the official, because it's not all the same. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not 100% sure if this is actually transformed right. Though it looks pretty darn close to the official. I will note now, there is no red tongue sticking out of the mouth like there is on the official, though I think that's probably part of a blaster or something like that, so he doesn't have that. The spots here are there, but there's not as many spots as there is on the official, and they're laid out and their pattern is a bit different. Most specifically, the lack of spots on the very front, right? They do exist on the official. Nevertheless, the hooves are black, so I dig that. The tail, that comes out, and that is black, so I dig that. It's a serviceable giraffe, I'll say that much. Now, I'm not going to give any scores until we get the guy in his robot mode, which we might as well get into doing now. Hopefully I can do this. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so we're going to begin by bringing that down and bringing that down. By the way, this ball peg over here is pretty loose. I think I'm going to have to thicken that one up. We also pick off this on the back. This, I believe, on the official is like 2 separate sections. Is it... Do I turn it around like... I think I turn it around like that. We'll see as we go. We'll see as we go. This one comes up thusly. And... see if I can remember this now. Yeah, these come off on the sides here. Like that. And... I thought that this one also came down. But maybe I'm wrong. There you go, like that. Yeah. Yep. Looking good. Looking good. We're going to bring down... Bring down? No, we're going to flip up. Sorry. His, I guess, head next. Can I get that out yet? Yeah. So head flips out next. This piece comes over on the back. When we go to the front, this piece comes over on the front. And then, see if I can remember. No. This way. There you go. We turn that upper body. We bring these sections up on the back for now. Bring those front legs down. Yeah, this is coming along nicely, actually. Then we... see if I can remember this now. Again, remember, I'm kind of struggling with a little bit of this here. I thought this just turned, but maybe I need to unpeg something here. Give me a second, I'm going to see what it is I'm doing wrong with this part around the waist. Pardon the cut, I was right. You do turn the lower body all the way around, and I knew I was right. I just couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't recall. There's a little round peg that goes to a little round peg hole up here. It's actually quite tight. I ended up shaving some of that peg down to fit properly. Bring that up on the back, and I guess we can straighten these up even if we want. Although no, I'm going to keep them up, I think. Like that. Bring this out. This should be angled up more on his back. We bring this piece and this piece down on his hips, basically. And then we bring this arm down, and we're going to turn it at the bicep so that we have a full arm showing out. And now this arm is supposed to stay up like this, and we should have something that comes out at the bottom that's an accessory. But since this guy doesn't come with that accessory, instead of leaving this up, I tend to put it down and straighten out the head, and I'll use that as some sort of like an arm blaster or something. But in the end, and I hope I can actually get our boy here to stand, because this should be it for him, I believe. Yeah, in the end, here we have Longrack in his robot mode. Let me adjust the camera and we'll take a closer look, and we will start to give this guy some scores. Here's our guy next to Stampy, who I looked at in episode 1084, thanks to our buddy Maximal 10, and also thanks to our buddy Maximal 10 Break, who I looked at in episode 1085. I feel like that Longrack is a little bit better than the other two lads, but that's just me, so taking him out of it and taking him out of it. Okay, very quickly, let's go through the scores. I think the transformation is pretty decent for KO. There's a lot of moving parts, and except for that one loose ball peg that I can fix myself easy enough, I think it's pretty decent. It's too bad we don't have the accessories, but other than that, I think it's pretty decent of a transformation. I'm going to give it a solid 9. In terms of the look, certainly in robot mode, the head is pretty accurate. Not quite perfect with the the sides of the head needing kind of more brown, and he just fell over, my apologies. Kind of needing more brown. Then we have the kind of gray of the chest and the, I guess, piece that's across his chest. That's generally right. However, his thighs, that's got the red on it here, and his pelvis that's red should also be that grayish silver. The lower legs and hooves, so to speak, they're pretty good. There's feet that are supposed to flip out under his hooves here. I don't think this guy has them. No, he doesn't have them. He just has a heel spur. So that's a little bit different. Still, he stands quite well. The arms, again, they're red here, they should be silver. Particularly this arm over here, the shell that's on the back of it should be in two separate halves instead of one piece, but it is what it is. We don't have the tongue sticking out accessory that becomes like a grabber or a blaster or whatever it is. Still, looking at this, I think you're generally going to know it's Longrack. I'm going to give it about an 8. So right now he's getting, say, an 8.5. Let's do the articulation for the guy. Head doesn't move. This arm can go all the way around, out to the side. Elbow, and it straightens out somewhat. Swivel, but again, all this junk on it sort of hinders it. This shoulder here goes all the way around. This arm can go all the way out. We can turn it at the elbow. It can blast, fire, go across his body, all of it. Do we have a waist? No waist because of how it pegs in, I suppose. Leg forward, like a lot. Leg back, a lot. For T-posing out to the side, well, we have the junk on the hips. But, I mean, I don't know, you get out that far, I suppose. We have a bit of a thigh wiggle at the ball joint. And we have 90 degrees at the knee. Not perfect, but not bad. He was getting an 8.5. I think the articulation is a solid 8. I think that for a $4 KO, as imperfect as this is, if you're like, man, I'd like to have some, some extra Beast Wars characters. I got nothing against Beast Wars Neo. Why are you not standing now? You've been standing like a champ. You've been standing like a champ all along. Don't give up on me now, man. Whatever. I think that for a $4 KO, an overall score, because I'm going to give his articulation an 8, that means he was getting an 8.5. Overall score, 8.25. It's not bad. And I think for a $4 KO of more of a fringe character, unless you're really into Neo, I think that this is a good way to go, and I think it's a respectable way to go. The only thing that you should really watch out for, I think, because the plastic feels generally fine, is you might have some ball pegs that you might need to thicken up. If that's the worst that happens, then I would say that Longrack here is an absolute success. And here we are once again, and here he is. So, we are missing, of course, the accessory, and we do have a loose ball peg, like, back here. And I don't know if this is supposed to actually peg in somewhere. I could be transforming part of this wrong. No instructions at all. So I'm sort of doing a bit of guesswork, a little bit of the official kind of realizing what might be different here. Nevertheless, like, he stands up fine. He looks giraffe-ish enough. It's okay. I like the transformation considering it's a KO and considering there are certain allowances made, right? But I think that there's enough moving parts amid the shell to keep it interesting. The articulation is definitely hindered somewhat by all of the junk hanging off him, not the least of which is the fact that the back is all one piece instead of being two pieces, part on the upper arm, part on the lower arm. Still, again, all things being equal, it's not bad. Yes, the coloration is certainly off somewhat, but if you know Longrack, I think you'd probably at least recognize this as the character. Is it as good as the official? Absolutely not. Is it okay as a KO and a stand-in for Longrack? Yeah, absolutely. If we ever get an updated version, or if the official ever kind of comes my way, then cool. But for now, I think I'm going to be pretty happy to put this lad on the shelf next to my other Beast Wars Neo characters. KO or not. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, please hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, man, somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day. You right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, right here, inside the videos.